First of all, Rhian Brewster and John Egan both got knocks on international duty. What's their situations?
Yeah, we'll give everybody the maximum time to recover, assessing by the medical staff on every player that's been away. Obviously, when they do go away, they put themselves in the firing line. So, looking at them from a physical point of view, from an injury point of view, travelling and everything. So, there's been some games for them boys, but we'll give them as long as possible and try and pick the correct side to hopefully get a positive result on Sunday.
So the likes of Brewster, Egan and Stevens, have they all got a chance of playing at the weekend?
Yeah, they've all got a chance. Yeah, all got a chance, and obviously add Fleck into that and Mousset into that because they've been back training for a week now, full time. So, as I said, it's a discussion between myself, the staff, and the medical department. We have to make sure that we don't damage these boys long term because there's still, as people recognise, 30 odd games to go. So we can't afford to lose them by taking huge gambles. But as I've always said here, every player here wants to put their hand up and play all the time, which is a great position for me to be in as a manager.
Seen various bits being posted by the club on social media about Jack O'Connell's progress. Are you happy with how he's developing and trying to get himself back to fitness?
Yeah, I mean, Jack's situation is for the season and going longer is we'll only know when he gets back with a ball at his feet. Really, he can do all the work that he's doing now, and it's great. And the work that he's doing, the treatment that he's having is intense, and it's full on. But really, we've really wrote Jack out off our plans till well into the new year, maybe February, because the defining moment for Jack is when he gets back and he gets back into training, into preparation for returning to full training, really, which is obviously ball introduced, movements that he has to do, and obviously contact with other players in a fast moving game.
Just one more on players. In terms of Sander Berger, obviously Norway's games were cancelled by the health minister in Norway. Is he back? Is he eligible to play? Has he had to isolate? What's his situation?
Yeah, we're just waiting for instruction regarding Xander, as we are a couple of other boys that have been away. So he's in that category of obviously question mark at the moment, Adam.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, Adam.
In terms of your current situation, is this where you really learn about your players, and is there a bit of an onus on them now to really show that they are Premier League players?
They don't have to prove anything to me. They are Premier League players. They proved that last year. The key is obviously to maintain that and establish themselves in the Premier League. And as I've just said, in the spare time looking at some of these, and I don't know whether I should have done or not, these Amazon documentaries, it's an incredible division that we're in and involved in. It's not going as well as we'd like it to be so far this season. But as I've said, in previous interview, we're there, we're fighting, we're learning, we're trying to close the gap. The gap is a huge one, as you can imagine. And if you have watched those and know where we are as a football club, you'll recognise that and realise that. And I think more the majority of people will put it into perspective. But that doesn't make any change in the fact that we want to win games of football in this division. It was a tough run. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea on the spin. I think everybody will recognise that's quite a tough run of games for everybody, for anybody in our division, especially one that is having a little bit of a struggle up at the moment. But there's plenty of fight in us. As I said, time to reset, time to look at things. Maybe not always on the training ground, especially with a few of the players away. Look at the stuff that we can do better, we can control, some stuff that we can't control that we've talked about, and go again and enjoy the challenge. And I think that's what we're all doing. We're enjoying it. We're enjoying the challenge. We're not enjoying the league position, of course we're not. But there's still plenty of fight in us, and we understand that in these next 10 games leading up to Christmas, we've got to give ourselves a fighting chance by picking up some wins and picking up some points. But we have to play really well as we did last year, and we're going to have to do that this year. We're going to have to do a lot of things right to do that because of the competition that we're in and the players and the teams that we're up against.
Have you heard Tony Pulis's first press conference as Wednesday manager? Sheffield United got a mention. Have you heard that?
Did we? My old pal, has he got a job, has he, my old pal?
He has indeed. To quote, no disrespect to Sheffield United, but if you got this club into the Premier League, talking about Wednesday, it would be the biggest club in Sheffield.
It's great to have Tony back in football. He's a proper football man. So all I'm bothered about is Sheffield United, as you can imagine, and trying to get a result in the Premier League on Sunday afternoon. But enormous amount of respect for Tony and what he's done, and the career he's had, and he's a good man.
In terms of West Ham this weekend then, plenty of history as you've alluded to anyways. There's still a little bit extra on games with West Ham?
No, not really. I think I talked about it last year. It's really all water under the bridge about what happened sort of what we're talking about now, 11 years ago, was it? Cookie, 10, 11 years ago? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, plenty of water under a bridge. We had a couple of great results against them last year, and they're still an established Premier League team, and with a lot of good players and an outstanding manager who's putting his mark on his team. So yeah, as I said, the fixture list as it has been, but it still doesn't really change anything. It's still really tough opposition. They've had a positive start to the season, and it's a game that we're really looking forward to. But in terms of what happened sort of 10, 11, 12 years ago, we can't affect that. It'll always be brought up and people will talk about it and whatever, but from my point of view, full focus on us getting a result.
Any surprise really that David Moyes has come in and made them harder to beat? They've had some really good and impressive results so far this year. Yeah, they have done. Yeah, they've obviously changed the system. So and as I've said, they're an established Premier League club in terms of infrastructure, facilities, academy. Players that they've got. International, some really good players there. So and a manager. I think he's won the LMA Manager of the Year 2 or 3 times when he was at Everton, established Everton, and went and managed at Manchester United. So, an absolute top manager of English football over the last sort of 15 years. So, up against it from a coaching point of view, but it's about what the players do on the pitch. We try and affect it off the pitch. On the Monday to Friday or whatever day it is leading up to the game, and try and pick the right team and try and pick the right tactics. But it's, it boils down to a lot of things on match day, and the players are good enough to win. They know that, but they know they have to play well to go and get that result. So we've had a decent couple of weeks. We've reset. We understand now. 30 games to go now. We needed the break. We needed, in my opinion, we needed to get through that Chelsea game, which obviously we did, and not get the result. But we're fighting. There's obviously going to be a lot of opinion on us, locally. I get that. Nationally, always being in the Premier League, but we have to shut all that out and get on with gaining points in the Premier League. I keep saying it. We've all worked extremely hard to be. It's where everybody wants us to be. And now we've got to go and prove that we're good enough. We were good enough to get in it. We were good enough to stay in it. Now we've got to go and do it again. And that is the continual challenge and continual obstacles and hurdles that you have to get over. And there's no point feeling sorry for yourself. You just got to get on with the job, and affect what we can affect, which I'm sure and positive that we can do.